It's a wonderful concept, but I did think it was something that happened regularly. I didn't know I was the guinea pig because I'm new to the club. And I also wish that you had done your first session on good answers.
Next question.
What are your three biggest surprises since you've been elected?
I don't know necessarily if they're the three biggest surprises. It's probably one of the reasons why I ran, but it is very dysfunctional. To see that the dysfunction that I thought existed, the frustration as a resident and a business owner in downtown, and to then actually see that it is as dysfunctional as it seemed, that it was surprising. And I also, my more recent biggest surprise is perhaps, well, I don't think the city does. We're doing better, but I think we don't take care of the small details. I found it interesting that nobody commented on the details, because I actually think the small details are probably the most important thing in running a business, running a city, running any organization. And we don't focus on those details at all, and we need to.
Were you surprised to find that people and groups hold such strong positions, and just how strong they are, and how do you find dealing with that?
It's interesting because your question earlier, in the introduction part, you said, what do you do when you get five different entrenched opinions?
Yeah.
And it ties into how do you herd chickens? I would say both of those are interrelated, because you herd chickens by providing an opportunity, like providing food for chickens, quite frankly. You bring the good feed and you get all the chickens in the same place. And then you create the listening dialogue where everyone can be heard. I've been very impressed and surprised, and it's been, we ran a bar before, and it's amazing what you can build around a bar and around a table, and getting consensus and understanding of each other's opinions can occur if you bring them to the same table. I think what happens is we go out to each individual organization without bringing them all together, and I think that's what's lacking. It needs to happen more often in the city, so we can actually hear that there is commonalities between those five just very diverse voices.
When we associate with people, when we choose what we're going to read, what we're going to talk about, we seek out people who support our opinions. We don't seek out people who do not support our opinions. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I think it's tied into what the answer I just gave. You create an opportunity for those people to move away from their comfort zone to hear the other opinions. So how do you encourage that?
So my question was, in the sense of being on city council and having diverse groups in the city, how do you get them together?
Well, once again, I'll come back to the chicken feed. You create an opportunity that people don't want to miss. So whether it's another interesting aspect of, I think, leadership is you've got to tackle the elephants in the room, and we're so fearful of asking those tough questions, but if you entice people to come, because it's actually dynamic, and meetings where it's quite controversial can be quite exciting for people. So if you create the parameters where it's safe to speak and to be heard, I think people will welcome that opportunity, and it'll help each of those different voices grow, in their own. They'll hear a different perspective. They might not agree with it that night. That's why I think in public hearings it's interesting, because people just have a tendency to talk there's not a lot of listening, and we need to create the venue where there's as much talking as listening going on.
Shellie, what do you like about Rotary?
No, wait a minute.
It's a great club. This has been a wonderful experience, actually.
That's nice. Stay on theme. We got one of the questions.
Well, and the leadership, but on the leadership.
I had my hand up an hour ago.
No, but on the leadership, let's focus on the leadership part, because it is exhibiting leadership in our community on a regular basis, and I think that's the type of leadership we need throughout the city.
Correct answer.
When you are elected as mayor, what would we see different in the city?
So if you're elected as mayor, what do you see?
I hope that whoever gets elected as mayor in the next election creates a more collaborative environment. Having said that, I also think, this is going to sound maybe politically incorrect, but I think Victoria has done too much in being we need to protect our residents and our taxpayers and look at Victoria. Victoria's not very big, we're 7 square kilometers. And I think we take on too many larger issues for the region, and the other municipalities don't. And I think perhaps we need to start focusing on what makes our city the most livable and the best place to do business, and really focus ourselves rather than going sort of out on every issue. Yes, we are the capital city, but I think in order to really be the model of a capital city, we got to take care of our own first. And then, once we get that in line, then we can start saying, okay, everybody, let's solve all the other larger problems.
That was it.